Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here at 33rd Annual Market Research Seminar. My name is Dr. Sarina Asif, and together with my co-author Sidharth Lalwani, we are presenting a work on bridging human-AI readiness gap in marketing. In simple terms, while AI is everywhere in marketing today, from personalization to predictive analytics, the biggest challenge isn't the technology itself. The real question is our teams ready to work with it? That's what our framework, HACR, is designed to answer. Over the next few minutes, we will walk you through how this framework was built and why it matters for marketers, leaders, and researchers alike. AI in marketing has come a long way. It's become the backbone of modern marketing, but here's the problem. While companies are pouring huge investment into AI, people on ground are not ready to work with it. Reports by McKinsey, Gartner, and Accenture all show the same pattern. Marketing is one of the fastest adopters of AI, but human readiness has not kept pace. That's the gap our framework is designed to bridge. When we looked at the literature, we discovered something interesting. AI failures are not because the technology is broken, there's because people and processes are broken. We found three specific gaps that keep causing problems. First, there's an executive versus frontline gap. This is like having a CEO who thinks everyone in the company speaks fluent French, but the actual employee only knows a few French words. Second is C-suite gap. Most existing frameworks only look at what executives and leaders are doing, but they completely ignore what's happening with the actual marketing teams who have to use AI every day. Third is the team-level gap. Nobody has good tools to figure out if teams actually know what they are doing with AI. There's no way to measure if people understand their roles, if their processes are flexible enough, or they are learning the right skills. That's exactly where HACR comes in. It's like a detailed health checkup, but how teams work with AI. At the heart of study, we asked ourselves a simple but important question: how can teams move beyond just having AI tools, actually working with them as strategic partners? To answer this, we had 4 clear objectives. The first was to synthesize evidence. We reviewed both research and industry reports to understand what really helps or blocks AI collaboration at the team level. Second, we wanted to develop this framework built around 4 levers: role clarity, agile workflows, upskilling, and collaboration. Third, we set out to surface bottlenecks. We wanted to pinpoint the real pain points, things like unclear role, rigid processes, and siloed workflows that prevents teams from using AI effectively. And finally, we worked to introduce maturity rubrics, a 4-stage tool that lets teams measure where they are today and what they need to do to become AI ready.
So most established AI maturity models stay at the enterprise altitude, where there's strategy, technology infrastructure, and top-down leadership. These factors are important, but they miss the arena where adoption is won or lost, which is actually inside the team workplace. Consider 2 leading references: Gartner's AI maturity model that gauges readiness through organizational strategy, data infrastructure, and governance. Deloitte's AIQ tracks enterprise-wide metrics and leadership commitment. While both frameworks are valuable, yet neither examines how marketers, analysts, and creative teams actually collaborate with AI every day, how roles are defined, how decisions move through a sprint, and how cross-functional learning unfolds. Our human AI collaboration Readiness framework closes this gap. Anchored in role theory, dynamic capabilities, organizational learning, and cross-functional integration. It focuses on team-level enablers, where clear responsibilities, agile workflows, continuous upskilling, and seamless inter-team collaboration. So we studied 15 different sources, both academic research and company reports, and found that successful AI teams always do 4 things really well. First is role clarity. This means everyone knows exactly what they're supposed to do with AI, like who makes decisions about AI recommendation, who reviews the outputs, and who's accountable when things go wrong. No more confusion about who does what. Second is agile workflows. Instead of making huge plans that take months to execute, teams work in fast 2-week cycles where they can quickly test AI ideas, get feedback, and make changes. Third is continuous upskilling, where it's learning new skills through workshops, peer mentoring, and hands-on practice. Fourth is cross-functional collaboration, where teams actually work together with shared goals. We created a 4-level progression system so teams see exactly where they are and what to work on next.
So this scorecard is a diagnostic map to track how teams structure in AI collaboration across 4 levels: initiating, emerging, scaling, and embedded. And 4 levers: role clarity, agile workflows, continuous upskilling, and cross-functional collaboration. Initiating: no defined AI roles, waterfall planning, outside consultants run machine learning, and departments work in silos. Emerging: AI roles recognized, some small agile pilots start, individuals try, online courses and dashboards are shared specifically. Scaling: roles and ownership are formalized, agile rituals guide projects, training is tied to roles, and teams co-planning AI initiatives. Embedded: roles evolve naturally, workflows adapt in real time, learning is continuous and cross-functional, jointly own KPIs and sprint goals. The scorecard helps teams start asking, are we actually good at working with AI? Let me share a scenario based on a pattern we observed during our research. We call this FICTO-Learn, a composite case representing a mid-sized education technology company that was struggling with AI. This scenario reflects common challenges we identified across EdTech and digital marketing organizations in our synthesis of 15 academic and industry sources. Before applying HACR principle, different departments worked in isolation like separate companies, and they planned everything using slow, rigid processes that took months to complete. When HACR principles were applied, the transformation involved rewriting job descriptions to include specific AI responsibilities, replacing slow planning processes with fast 2-week cycles, creating structured training programs where people actually learned useful skills. This scenario shows us AI doesn't fall because of the technology. It falls when teams are not structured to work with it. HACR addresses that gap. Our next research phase will involve longitudinal field studies to validate these projections. Now let's look directly at the before and after snapshots of FICTO-Learn's journey. Before HACR, ownership gaps, no single point of accountability for AI work. Campaigns stalled in long approval chains, launch cycles stretched into months. Content, data, and design teams barely interacted, so insights and creativity never converged. After HACR, every team member have defined AI responsibilities and decision rights, cutting time to market and enabling quick course correlation. Think of this slide as a transformation. On the left, a company with cutting-edge tech, but no traction. On the right, a fast, collaborative, AI-ready organization.
So most companies already use famous AI maturity models, and these aren't relatively bad. They're actually quite good at what they do. But here's the problem. They're like getting a health checkup from a doctor who only looks at your overall vital signs, but never examines what's happening in your individual organs. Our framework fills this blind spot by focusing on the day-to-day reality. How clear are people's roles when working with AI? How flexible are their work processes? How well are they learning new skills? And how effectively do different departments collaborate?
So how can HACR actually be applied in real organizations? For CMOs and heads of marketing, it's a way to use a scorecard to realign teams and workflows around AI, making sure strategy translates into practice. For HR and L&D teams, it becomes a guide to create role-based upskilling roadmaps, so training is tailored ongoing. For researchers and scholars, it opens a new lens to study team behaviors, collaboration patterns, and cultural factors that drive AI adoption success. Teams can achieve things they never could before, but only if roles are clear and workflows are reimagined.
So here's where we get practical about measurement, because if you can't measure something, you can't improve it. For role clarity, we use team service to see how confident people are about their AI responsibilities, and we count how many AI-related tasks have clear owners. For agile workflows, we track how long it takes to complete campaign cycles and how often teams are iterating and improving their work. For continuous upskilling, we measure learning hours per team member, but more importantly, we see if people are actually applying what they learn in their daily work. For cross-functional collaboration, we count how many campaigns involve people from multiple departments working together, and we track joint planning sessions, shared meetings, and co-owned KPIs. The beauty of having these specific metrics is that you can actually manage improvement instead of having vague discussions about whether your team is AI ready. So this framework gives researchers specific testable hypotheses. Researchers can test using various methods, large-scale surveys with structural equation modeling to find statistical relationships, longitudinal case studies that follow teams over time to see how they evolve, or mixed approaches that combine HACR scoring with in-depth interviews and analysis of digital work traces. The theoretical contribution of this framework is that it goes way deeper than existing enterprise-level readiness models. It brings in behavior and team-level perspectives that make it not just an academic concept, but something organizations can actually implement.
So let's wrap up. Even though executives are optimistic about AI, the reality is that every few companies turn that ambition into consistent practice. What HACR does is a shift the focus from technology and infrastructure to people and teams. It's about making sure the roles are clear, behaviors are aligned, and collaboration routines are in place. It's not about man versus machine. It's about man plus machines working together as partners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A quick question, given we are run out of time. Out of the 4 HACR levers, which one is the most difficult one to implement?
I guess it would be the role agility one, because that's where a lot of confusion happens between teams.
Okay.
And usually when it comes to AI, let's say if it's prospect intelligence, for example, right? So there are many moving parts around it. You have to find intent signals, and you have to scrape all the emails, and you have to verify the emails, and then you have to have your own kind of tonality for the organization that goes in an Excel. So there's like so many moving parts that it's kind of like better to subdivide tasks, and it's very clear-cut responsibilities of who actually does what. Because if you kind of just give it to one person, it's also very problematic, but at the same time, it's like finding strengths of different people. Someone might be exceptionally well in like scraping and understanding intent signals. Somebody might be else like in terms of content writing. So you have to find like who's good at what, and then kind of assigning those tasks, and then understanding the entire flow and sequence of it.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time. Yeah.